Hey, this is Idea Cochise for Cochise Roan. We're on the weight classes for UFC on Fox 7, where we have the lightweight championship bout between Gilbert Melendez taking on Ben Henderson. I'm really hoping that the UFC is not going to regulate this championship for the Fox cards because it's kind of a catch-22 where you need a big fight to promote your events on Fox, but at the same time, if they just keep throwing out the lightweight division as the main thing going on, I don't know how long it's going to last and keeping the people's interest. As long as it's okay, as long as they change up every so often with a different belt being on the line for various UFC Fox cards in the future. Real quick before I get into my main two picks, I'd like to talk about Nate Diaz versus Josh Thompson, and that's I feel that this is a very losable fight for Nate Diaz. Josh Thompson is a legitimately underrated fighter. I feel as even though that it is Nate's fight to lose, he's a lot quicker at 155. But if he's not focused, he's going to have a lot of trouble with Thompson with this fight coming up for him. There is a video out there with these two, battling out in a grappling tournament. I forgot the name of the actual tournament. However, Nate Diaz won. This being MMA is going to change a different dynamic, but there's a couple of sore thumbs for Nate Diaz's record. I'll probably say that'd be Stun Gun and Joe Daddy Stevenson. And I really hope that Josh Thompson is not going to be another sore thumb loss. UFC heavyweight bout. Daniel Cormier versus Frank Mir. In the heavyweight fight, there's a couple things I have to say. One, I was never on the Daniel Cormier hype train. Throughout the whole Strikeforce Grand Prix, I doubted him the whole time. And I was completely wrong about the guy. I mean, even though there's a couple of holes in his game, he's still been able to reduce where he needs to. In his UFC debut, he's going to be taking on Frank Mir, a guy, in all honesty, has evolved his game in MMA. Now, there's other fighters who have evolved their games and been actually unsuccessful in their evolution. Frank Mir is not one of those. Unfortunately, over the time of the Pride buyout and the various organizations buyouts and just these new breed of heavyweight fighters coming into MMA in general, they're a much slimmer, faster breed of heavyweights going on right now. And that is a problem for Frank Mir because even though he's not slow himself, he's just so unable to turn his speed up and get the fight where he needs to get the wins that he has to have to become once again the UFC champion, if that is his goal or not. Technically speaking, Frank Mir's striking I do feel is better than Daniel Cormier's, but he doesn't have the raw power that Cormier has. I see this fight going the way of the Shane Carwin fight, where he is better technically, but with that one-punch knockout that Daniel has is going to cause a lot of trouble for him. So if he's not able to get this fight to the ground and be on top, which I just don't think is going to happen with Cormier's takedown defense, I just see him getting knocked out probably somewhere late in the second round. UFC lightweight championship bout. The challenger, Gilbert Melendez versus the champion, Ben Henderson. Through an unfortunate series of events, Gilbert Melendez's UFC debut has been delayed for almost 2 years at this point. And in that time, he's been forced to face less than stellar competition. George Mestival, who I felt was just a poor matchup, and then Josh Thompson for the third time in a fight no one wanted to see. You can see the apathy in Gilbert Melendez's fighting style when his last two bouts with George Mestival and the third fight with Josh Thompson. Both fights are pretty much bouts that no one really wanted to see, but they had to do something to fill up the Strikeforce cards. He's taking on the new breed and UFC lightweight champion Ben Henderson. I've been extremely impressed with this guy. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite fighters. In terms of a straight matchup, I feel that Ben Henderson is superior in almost every physical element. And the reason I would give this edge to him is that although Gilbert Melendez has a good fighting IQ, he has not been tested as much recently as Ben Henderson has. I kind of don't like this matchup because I felt that Gilbert Melendez should have a little more time with the UFC's marketing machine behind him to hype him up a little bit more. The other Strikeforce champions did not get an immediate title shot, that being Luke Reinhold, Jake Shields. So I don't know why Gilbert Melendez is getting an immediate title shot himself. Even Daniel Cormier and Alistair Overeem did not get immediate title shots in the heavyweight division. Yes, I know Cormier was a Grand Prix champ, but still, there's no immediate title shot for them. Gilbert Melendez, I like him a lot, but I just don't think that he's ready to take on Ben Henderson at this point in time. He should have had one, maybe two warm-up fights before he goes on the big stage against Ben Henderson, and I can't see him taking the belt away. Ben Henderson, whether it be on the ground, standing up, unanimous decision, doesn't matter. He's staying the champion.